all, welcome to my channel. I hope you got a basic idea about vectors, vector addition and scalar multiplication, these two very important operations. Now we will discuss linear combination of vectors. What does it mean and how we can define a span of vectors. So let's continue our discussion. Now, if you are from mathematics, you already understand the meaning of linear and what do we mean by linear combination. But if you are not, I will make it very simple for you. We have talked about two operations explicitly, vector sum. So we had two vectors, say u and v, and we have seen how we can do vector sum. So geometrically, we have seen how we can interpret, and we have seen that if we do it mathematically, we add the corresponding coordinate for different axes, x, y, or z, whatever. We have also talked about scalar multiplication. For example, I want to scale u with a scalar a. A can be any real number, positive, negative, floating point number, integer, whatever. So I can scale it by multiplying it with that number, and how we interpret that. So we can simply multiply all the coordinates with this scalar, and geometrically we can either stretch or shrink or flip according to the value of a. So these two things we have discussed in the previous video. Here we are clubbing up these two things, right? So vector addition and scalar multiplication, if we club it like this, that we compute scalar multiplication of both the vectors by using different scalars a and b, and then we add these two. So it becomes linear combination of vectors. So why it is linear combination of vectors? Because it holds some properties of linearity, right? But let's first understand it, how it looks geometrically. So instead of drawing it in 2D here, I would like to show you the animation. So here we are back to the web applet. Thank you to the author who has created this applet on GeoGebra. Now we have seen that we have done the sum of vectors here. This was the scalar multiplication, difference of vector also. I have left this for you to do an exercise, u and v. We are doing minus of v in the opposite direction, and then we are adding finally to get u minus v. And you can always verify your answer. So next operation here is the linear combination. Now you can see here is show parallelogram. If you untick this, it will not show you the area. So it's your choice if you want to show the area covered by these vectors or not. I click here so that I can see. Now these are the scalars. They are using B and C. I have used A and B names in my presentation. So B and C are the scalars. U and V are these vectors. So you see that initially the origin point is here and U is here. So we can even read the coordinate of U is 3 and 0. The coordinate of V are 2 and 2. And the coordinates are written here as well, right? So initially they are showing that for this U and V and for these values of scalars, this is the linear combination. Fine, we understand how we can play around with different values of a scalar, or we can even play around with these different vectors. So for example, the C is the scalar which multiplied the vector V. So if I increase the value of C, you see, the linear combination is getting changed. The area of parallelogram is increased now. So you can play around and find out what happens if you change the value of that scalar to a positive point or negative point. For example, suppose I stop here. Now you can also change the value of this scalar and you can play around this thing. So basically, if I'm changing these scalars, I'm getting some parallelopipe C. If I'm just changing D, if you can see, this parallelogram is moving just from left to right by changing the values of a scalar. In the given range, we can have more range also, but in the applet, we have this range, right? So it is moving here, but this, it is fixed here that it is the area above x-axis, the way the vectors are chosen, right? And if I look at the impact of this, you see that it is going up and down, but to the right hand side of the vector. So we are able to see these things. Now what happens if I want to change the vectors as well? So suppose I change the vectors, you see, we are able to reach every possible vector in this two-dimensional space, right? If I change the vectors like this, and if I also change their linear combination, so basically by changing the vectors or by changing the scalars, we are able to reach every possible vector in the two-dimensional space. every possible point, right? We can stretch the vector, we can reduce the length, and we can rotate it so that we can reach everywhere in the plane. So this is one point to note. I want to show you a few more things before I move ahead to the theoretical definitions, but I want to show you here some of the animations. Now, suppose I make the vectors coincide on each other. For example, I make u and v on the same line. It's not that easy, but yeah, I made it. So now the coordinates are same. Coordinate can be different. It should be basically on the same line. You see the coordinates are different, but now my u and v are on the same line, right? Now if I change this, or if I change this, I'm still on the same line. Are you getting my point? If both the vectors are on the same line, they are on the same line, then by changing whatever value of a scalar you are changing, you are not able to reach all the points in the space. You are just reaching on those points which are there in the same line, right? So here, instead of getting all the points in the 2 dimensions, you are just getting the points on a 1 dimension, just one line, 1 dimensions, right? So basically you are having this concept. We will talk about this again. Now let me make both the vectors 0. If I make both the vectors 0, and even if I scale, nothing happens because the vectors are 0, multiplying by any scalar would be 0. So I'm not able to reach anywhere. I'm not able to reach anywhere on the line also. I'm just stuck at the origin. So I hope these concepts you understood by looking at these visualization. Now let me go to the PPT so that I can introduce to you some mathematical definition. So first thing is span. Span of two vectors is the set of all linear combinations. Linear combinations, we have seen that it is just the sum of the scaled version of vectors, right? So set of all possible linear combinations, we call them span of those vectors. So we have seen that for two vectors, two scalars, we were in most of the cases able to reach all the points in the 2-dimensional space. And same we can extend the idea in the 3-dimensional space also. But only on the specific cases when the two vectors were coinciding, like they were on the same line, maybe of the same length or different length, but when they were on the same line, then we were not able to reach the points in the 2-dimensional space. Whatever combination we are using, we were on the same line, so we were in this just 1-dimensional space. And when the vectors are 0 vector, obviously we are not reaching anywhere, we are in the origin. Similarly, in the 3-dimensional, if we are experimenting with the linear combination of two vectors, we can reach all the points in the 3 dimensions. But in some cases, we can just stuck on one particular plane. Instead of a 3-dimensional space, we can just stuck on this particular plane, or maybe this plane or this plane, whatever plane it is, right? Or maybe in some cases we can just get stuck on a line, or maybe in worst case, if we are starting with a 0 vector, we can just get stuck at the origin. So when are the situations when we were stuck at the lower dimensions? Can you imagine? We have seen in that animation that when u and v on the same line, u and v were on the same line. For example, this is my u and this is my v. Then we were stuck, whatever combination we were using, we were stuck at this line. So the span was the line here instead of all the points in the space, right? So here we can say that u and v are linearly dependent. So it is another terminology in algebra. We can call this linearly dependent. And linearly dependent means one is the linear combination of other. For example, my u is, my u is 6, 0 and my v is 2, 0. So we can write v is equal to 3 of u. So they are on the same line, in the same direction, just the length is different, right? Then we are stucking in the 1-dimensional line. The span is the 1-dimensional thing. So whenever this is the case, even if we are looking at the 3-dimensional picture, if the vector, one of the vector can be written as linear combination of other, then we call these vectors to be linearly dependent, right? We derive these things algebraically when we do math. We just prove that these are mathematics linearly dependent. But I hope you got the logic that two vectors would be said to be linearly dependent if one of those can be written as linear combination of other or others if we have more, and vice versa. And this idea we have discussed in case of two vectors, but it is applicable in case of more than two vectors also. For example, I have this vector t, and suppose it follows this relation: t is a u cap plus b v cap plus c w cap. Then I can say that t is linearly dependent on these vectors, or one of the vector is linearly dependent on another vector. So basically the meaning to say is one of the vector is redundant. It is not giving us any additional information. And if you remember, if you are doing something in machine learning, if you remember the concept of collinearity and perfect collinearity, you can relate it to there, right? If the variables are related to each other, for example, if you are predicting house price, so your y is house price, and you have some predictors here. So size of the house you have number of bedrooms, and you have many other variables, and you are predicting price. So many times when you have these type of data in your machine learning algorithm, some of your columns are related to each other. Related means what you say there, that there is a high correlation. Now correlation means you can write one of the column as a manipulation of another column, or maybe you can write one of the column as the linear combination of more than one column. In that case, we say that one of the variable is redundant. We don't need that variable in the equation. If we will still use, we will see the issues of multicollinearity. Now, I am not discussing a lot, but if you are from data science background, you need to understand the concept of collinearity and multicollinearity and perfect collinearity. Yes, these three are different things. And I have written detailed answer on these topics on ResearchGate and Stack Exchange as well, where you can see what are these things, how to deal with these things if you are doing machine learning. But if you understand linear dependence of vector, you can quickly understand what do we mean when we say the variables are having multicollinearities issues, right? And why one of the variables is known as redundant. So the concept remains same if you study it in mathematics or if you study it in statistics or machine learning, but the names or the way we explain things to different audiences, it changes, right? So we have talked about linear dependence, we have talked about linear combination, we have also talked about span of vector. And one more thing we can discuss is basis of a vector space. Basically, basis is the set of linearly independent vectors that span the full space. Means the vectors which can explain the full space. When we say span the full space or explain the full space, what does this mean? Is that, for example, you have two vectors. Now, by using these two vectors and two operations which we have discussed, vector addition and scalar multiplication, these two operations, or basically we can say using combined operation, which is known as linear combination of vectors. So by using these vectors and their linear combination, if we can reach the entire space, if we are into two-dimensional space or three-dimensional or whatever, if we can reach entire space, and if these vectors are linearly dependent, then we say that these vectors are basis of that vector space. If it is too abstract for you, let me tell you that standard basis vectors are I and j for two-dimensional Cartesian space. So I have discussed I and j in the first video, that unit vector in the direction of x-axis is I and unit vector in the direction of y-axis is j. So these two are the vectors which can define all the vectors. By using suitable scalars and linear combination, we can reach every point in the space. So these are a standard basis vector. The coordinates becomes 1, 0 and 0, 1. These are the coordinates of these vectors. But you can choose any other vector as the basis. If you are choosing different bases, you need to be careful about the coordinates, because when we change the basis, coordinates and the transformation, everything's changed accordingly. So we are not talking about change of basis right now, but you need to understand that knowing the basis is very important, and these are the standard basis vectors. So I hope you got some idea of these concepts. Thank you for watching.